I'm Riley Harvey for V-Cycling News, and this is the 39th PRT Handicap race. We are live tonight on the Dunoon circuit up in Scotland, recently added to RGT in advance of the World Championships which are happening up there. I believe this course was created in association with the Hot Chili group. A little low on numbers tonight as weather's starting to warm up, and we've got Jones, Bugada, Marchi and Larson all taking part in this event tonight. And on the front of the grid, I'm still suffering a little bit from an issue where the camera jumps around more riders than we would like, as we jump to Fugada here, Andre Fugada at the front of the race with Marchi chasing on, and then we have Jones just about to be absorbed by the pack of bots, and Henrik Larsson slightly further back, drifting back slightly as the bots swarm him. Nice course this one, quite aggressive lumps in it. Should play to the strengths of the handicap race quite well. Marchi sticking in the wheels of Fugada there. They have made some changes to the drafting recently, RGT, but had some issues with it, so it's been rolled back slightly. So we are just on standard drafting tonight. They had improved the way that the bots react with drafting. They had some issues where the draft just basically disappeared, so they've reverted back to the old version, and we're on standard drafting now. Hopefully we should be receiving draft, but might not get the same drafting from the bots you'd hope for. Fugada here just to the side of Marchi to go up one of these aggressive little lumps. I believe this is another one of the courses where the terrain changes the resistance on the bike as well, so as you go onto the gravel the bike slows naturally. So just behind we've got Jones still chasing on a gap 39 meters back to Jones, but we've got Vassalotti and Bierun there as well, joining up with Henrik Larsson. They're not too far away. 40-meter gap on this climb, not very big. Just saw a rider there peeling off to the side, looking to take the shorter line on the corners. See how much that affects there as he comes around that corner. That's Henrik Larsson, who's just distanced Bierun by taking that corner more aggressively on the apex and caught up with Vassalotti, and we can just see there. Seventh rider back is a rider called Kolaric. Just opening up slight lead at the front of this race over Fugada as we're coming to the end of this first climb. 2 laps of this course, so we'll be taking this climb on again. into this bit of single track section here. The road narrows in this section. There aren't as many lanes for the riders, so it does get a little bit congested at times. Fugara as he gets in a little flatter, making a distance. You know, just on the front, 130 meters back to Jones. A big gap opened up as that flat sections just come out there. Marchi in the drafted Fugara there. Fugara, a strong rider, is one of the few instances of the PRT handicap race. Just back here we've got Salotti, Jones, Larson and Kolarik. And just a little bit further back because we've got some of the, it looks like we've got some of the real riders in the course. We always have a big bunch of bots in here just to help anybody that drops back. Rider number 34 there, Burbear. Just drifting back slightly through the bots on this tail end of this climb. Oh, Tom the Bomb, unfortunately not able to get off the start line tonight. Not sure what happened with them. Hopefully they'll get their issues rectified for the next race. Now, locked in with Marchi. As we're going back up the hill again, Bugara once again slightly distanced by attacking Marchi on these aggressive climbs. 8.3% slope. Marchi just ever so slightly eking out a gap. Bugara once again, as it goes flat, wheeling him back in. Bugara and Marchi here, wheel to wheel. Suspect that Bugara is providing a lot of the power here. Marchi enjoying some of the drafting. Down the dip. I'll see if Marchi once again attacks on this next power climb. That's the segment marker for the climb starting. Marchi comes round, takes the lead. Bugara slots in. Benefits from a 30-watt drafting saving there. Both applying the power. In real life, you can guarantee this will be a section where the elbows would be out. Forcing riders into the undergrowth. Off the best lines. And some separation in the group behind, as well as Polaric and Vassilotti dropped Henrik Larsson Jones now. Polaric and Vassilotti. So the short gapping there back to Henrik Larsson and Jones. Vassilotti now seeming to drift backwards as Polaric continues applying the power on this climb. Up at 4 watts per kilogram. Vassilotti very close to being caught by Henrik Larsson there. Larsson just slightly gapping Jones. Rather boringly, it does look like they've added even more depth to the clouds here in this world, this course. They have added moving clouds in recently to the majority of the courses, but just looking at those clouds there, it looks like there's even more depth to them now than there was previously. Not the biggest of feature improvements, but it does just add to the realism and the ability to get lost within the world, the ride as you're cruising along. Larson being distanced by Vassilotti, but managing to hold Jones off at 90 meters. Beerun there, Beerun regular rider for us on the PRT handicap races, in 7th position, but quite a bit distance tonight. 600 meters up to Jones, the next real rider on the road. Meanwhile, up at the front end of the race, we're into another climb. That's the final climb of the circuit, almost entirely descending from this point on. Vergara managing to distance Marchi somewhat on the descent and flatter sections, and back into the climb. And it looks like Marchi's once again trying to make a little bit of a dent in the lead that Vergara's created. Power up at 360 watts. Usually Vergara's put on about 9 kilograms for this race. Do repeat myself most weeks, but I feel it's an important part of the stream to find out what the handicap race is all about. And handicap race is about evening the playing field so that riders from all different abilities can compete together and have a bit of fun together on the platform. And this is done by evening out the powers that the riders can achieve by changing the weights. So riders who are fitter, stronger, healthier, elite as applicable, those terms. Riders with a higher FTP, they divide their FTP by 3.2, and that gives them their weight for the game for this event. If they have a higher FTP, it means they will have a higher weight. Quite often, a lot more. We have a rider who takes part regularly, and he carries around about 25 kilograms of additional weight on the event. If you are a less fit rider, or you ride less frequently and have a lower FTP, conversely you'll end up with a lower weight for the event. So I have in the past ridden these events with 25, roughly a 25 kilogram knockoff on my weight, so down to around about 65 kilogram mark. It does make a very big difference when you're on these hills, when you're used to carrying a big lump of a body around, and you get that huge diet weight loss on race day. Vergara managing to hold on to the lead of Marchi here, keeping it to 21 meters. Marchi did briefly just make an attack there and close it down slightly. Vergara's applied the power once again. I wonder if Vergara thinks this is a one-lap race here. He's on lap 1 of 2, and he's got to go around again. Perhaps he's thinking he just needs to get to this climb this one time, and that's the end of the race for him. we've got Fugara now. He's going to be descending on a long descent round and into the finish line. Good bit of flat and false flat, back around and into these punchy climbs again. To the flat section, still pumping out 300 watts. Going out into the descent and enjoying some free speed. Well, I say free speed, he's earned it on the climb. Up at 68 kilometers per hour, not something I like to do on this kind of terrain. Braking into that corner. We'll see some more braking applied now as we go around this corner. 73 kilometers touched there for Fugara. Gonna go around a hairpin now. Not quite yet. So the power is displayed in the top left hand corner in RGT, and you will see at times that that power number goes red. That means that the sum of the watts that you're applying are not being used in game, and RGT is for one reason or another artificially slowing you. This happens often going into sharp corners where the speed that you are attaining, the speed that you're achieving is not realistic, so they just reduce it slightly, and that gives you those red power numbers to show that some of the power that you're inputting is wasted. You also sometimes get it when you come up behind a rider and you would bang into their back wheel, so again it artificially slows you there just to stop you from having a collision. It also encourages steering and some of the other skills you can. As you're approaching a rider, you can sort of apply some more power so that you can dodge around the rider and get past them. Fugara once again speeds climbing again as we come down this descent. Heavier riders descend much faster on RGT, and there we go, power numbers going red. Top left hand corner as he's come around that very sharp corner. Speed's reduced, and once again Fugara jumping on the power, trying to get his speed back up again. We're going now 289 meters in front of Marchi. Just going to jump past Marchi down to Kolarik. Kolarik starting that long descent again, auto braking there as we're going around that sharp corner. Kolarik 580 meters behind Marchi. Basilotti 340 meters behind, and Henrik Larsson another 300 and so meters behind him. Right back with Henrik Larsson. past these log piles. Descending. Going up to that hairpin, that sharp hairpin, and we'll see once again the power numbers top left hand corner going red, and the speed reducing in the top right hand corner, gone down from over 50 kilometers per hour down to 45 there. That's a very fast, quickly taken corner, the racing line there. Now we drift back to beer run. Beer run just starting at the top of the descent, a little bit further behind the riders. I'm going to get back and see if we can find Furbear. Furbear there, just went to the top of that last climb of the circuit. Alright, up at 163. Back on the front end of the race. Bugara now on the flat, smooth tarmac. Everything becomes a little bit easier when you're back on the tarmac, and pushing out again, 300 plus watts. Bugara just about to come underneath the Flamme Rouge, but this is lap 1 of 2. Got to go around and attack that again. And we'll see now on the second time around with tired legs whether March is able to overhaul Bugara on these climbs. Through the town centre, back out onto the seafront, past the pier. Just imagine how strong the winds would be here at this real life event. Coming off the cold sea, driving into your face. So ridden down Blackpool Promenade before now, and it's not fun when the wind is in the wrong direction. You rode 80-90 miles to get there, and then all of a sudden you just hit by a huge sea breeze. You just feel like stopping, walking the bike to the end. Alright, now more than halfway through the race. Pushing out steady 300 watts. Solid power. Caloric. Just under the line. 630 meters behind Marchi. You just see Vassilotti in the distance there. Vassilotti trying to use this flat section to chew up some of the distance on Caloric. Seems to be making some progress as well. 5 meters knocked off. Now 10 meters knocked off the distance. You get back to the wheel of Caloric in time to enjoy a little bit of drafting before they get to the climb. Vassilotti now managing to half the distance to Caloric since we've been watching them. At any moment now we'll be into the drafting pocket. Enjoying some free watts, but we are just about to start the climb. At which point all drafting benefit will be negated by the slower speeds and the uphill riding. Caloric just eased slightly. Vassilotti kept the power on, gone through. Vassilotti just managing to eke a little bit of a distance out on Caloric here. 14 meters, 15 meters, I think possibly. I might have overcooked it there on the flat section, trying to stay away from Vassilotti. Hard to say with riders not wearing heart rate monitors just how hard they're trying. Drop back to Jones. Fortunately, we are jumping 2 riders at a time at the moment because of the small quirk in the software of RGT that's not been ironed out just yet. We are expecting an update to smooth out a few little niggles. Jones now is 15.4 kilometers. See Henrik Larsson just in the distance there. Jones easing off completely as he goes around that corner. Could this be a technical for Jones? No power being registered for Jones here at this moment in time. Vatar slides over to the side of the road. And Jones is gone. Jones has dropped out. Maybe he was just in with the race with us for 1 lap today. 1 lap completed. and he has bowed out as Fugara here is in the lead with 105 meters over Marchi. That distance has diminished somewhat. Fugara pulled out a massive lead on Marchi on that descent and flat section. Marchi has recouped that somewhat. Go aerial here and see if we can find if we can pick out Marchi just in the distance. Distance has gone to 154 meters now, so back up again slightly, but we can just see a few pixels that represent Marchi in the distance there. Just come over the bridge section. At the very, very top of the screen, you can just about make out Marchi there. Fugara powers on, has opened up the lead back to 185 meters. So I think that shrinking of the lead was down to differing in terrain that the two riders were on at the time. I hoped possibly that Marchi had managed to close it down a little bit, but no, Fugara is powering on and that lead's increasing back again to 200 plus meters. Alright, into the second of the 4 climbs on this course. Vassalotti being reeled back in again by Kalaric. 10-meter gap. A bit of a battle going on between these two. Forward and backwards. Vassalotti managing to catch and pass Kalaric on the flatter section. The elongated start, finish straight, but now Kalaric managing to reel back in some of that distance on Vassalotti. Henrik Larsson in 5th position. That's the first time I've seen a Cannondale bike. It's hard to believe, but I don't recall seeing that bike unless it's just been updated. If anyone can tell me in the chat when the bike was added, I'd be very interested. Interesting colour scheme, that nice bit of bright pink and black contrasting. Deep rim with the disc brakes, Something I'm going to have to get used to, I think. I've resisted disc brakes for some time. Seems like it is pretty much the only option as you're moving forward now with new bikes. Larson now starts into the second climb, second of the 4 on the early stages of it. 3.2 degrees at the moment, just stepped up to 3.8 there on that little corner. Pushing on. Beerun 800 meters behind Larson at this point. Jump forward again to leader of the race. Guy now enjoying a short section of descent.
Next level. Next level.
Well, we are now third, 4 climbs, pushing hard. Got Alice Saddle giving it the beans. 360 watts at the moment, 8% slope. Gara now, 1 major climb left to complete and win this race. Marchi 550 meters back at the moment. enjoying this descent, flying around the corners. Alaric, once again, managed to in front of Vassilotti. Vassilotti now distanced by 95 meters. Intriguing to see whether, when we get to those flatter sections, Vassilotti's able to overhaul that lead again. It'll be a real dash for the finish line if that's the case. Alaric will have to give it his all going up this final climb to make sure he's got enough distance in the bank for that assault from Vassilotti. Henrik Larsson 820 meters back on the grouping of Vassilotti and Kalaric. Beerun just in front of a couple of bots here. Keep them distanced. I'll pick out Furbar at the moment because that little niggle issue with RGT. So jump back up to Fugara. Fugara on 9.1% climb at the moment. 48 minutes into the race. 7.2 kilometers remaining. The majority of that remaining meterage is downhill. Most of it is descending, so good push up to the top of this climb, and Fugara can pretty much call this race quits. There's very little chance that March you'll be able to overhaul the lead that Fugara has on the descent section. Archie 235 meters back. Gone underneath the halfway marker. Guy now flying down the descent. Only 6 kilometers remaining and they'll be up in no time at all. Glaric pushing on in front of Vassilotti. Vassilotti now 132 meters remaining. Have to descend like a demon on this next section to overhaul that lead that Klaric's built up. But he did seem to be able to put in a lot of distance to Klaric on the flatter section, so it's possible. I don't know the weights of the riders here, but it is very possible that Vassilotti's a heavier rider. He's able to descend quicker because of his weight, benefit from gravity, and also on the flat section the weight penalty doesn't have as much of a disadvantage. Alright, on a slight false flat here, plus 0.3%. Coming up to the end of the segment, time segment on RGT, and crossing that line, it will turn downwards now, minus 0.8% as we head towards that finish line. I'm just going to change views to the drone cam view, oops, so that we can see all of the riders. We'll stick with third person actually, so we can see all of the riders that finish. Jump about between riders in third person view now, as we go instantly to drone cam there. It's the best view. Should be able to jump about between riders still. See Marchi there, second place. First time we've seen Marchi for a little while. 186 watts, heart rate of 145. Afgara descending rapidly. Up at 60 plus kilometers there. Auto braking drops down to 40. Gets back on the power, brings the speed back up again, and auto braking again for these tight corners. Now through the gates. Ending the segment. Slows there. And you can see the drone cam view. It's a little more dynamic now. I may have just switched views again. The drone cam view is dynamic now. As you get faster, it gives you a little bit more distance. As you slow down, it comes in a little bit closer. I switched over to the moto cam there as we were changing views. Fugara there, powering towards the finish line. You can see there's a green line underneath Fugara's name there, which currently means that he's in the tempo section. The green, blue, yellow and red lines, all based upon Coggins training zones, and it's active recovery. Cannot read that. My eyes are not as good as they used to be. All right, 2.3 kilometers remaining. PRT rewards there just up on the screen. They kindly help cover the costs of providing the streams. And if you're interested in any kind of supplements or energy gels, even down to car hire when you're on holiday, then you head over to precisionrewards.co.uk. You can sign up for free, doesn't cost you anything, and then you can benefit from a whole manner of different discounts. There is a little bit of a discount structure where if you pay a little bit towards your membership, then you get access to higher levels of discount. But the initial is free, and you've got brands like Torque on there, Specializer on there, Wahoo's on there, all different discounts that you can get on stuff that you're buying normally anyway, so may as well buy it with a little bit of a discount involved. They're on the Motocam view now and watching Fugara come towards the finish line. He just sneak under the hour mark, but I don't think, look at them speed that the meters are ticking by there. And he's going to just go over the hour mark for the race. 2 laps of Dunoon. Motocam view has been adjusted as well, as you can possibly tell, to add a little bit more realism, a little bit more like the real thing. Fugara there comes through the finish line, time just over the hour to win this PRT handicap race. Marching now, only 650 meters left to go. That's all really hard tonight, Marchie. There was a point where I thought he was going to take the lead from Fugara. He did swap the lead a few times going up the climbs. But in the end, Fugara just a little bit too strong for Marchie and managed to make the most of the descending sections. And Marchie comes home. Too far after the winner of the race. One of the other good things about the handicap race is that you are tending to finish quite close to the winners of the race, to the leaders. It's not a race where you feel like you've really been dropped. You're always quite close to the winners. Polaric managed to keep away Vassilotti on that descent and this flatter section. And Kalaric now coming over the line. Third position. Andre Pagara is just getting on the chat to say hi to everyone. Bartolotti really battled hard there with Kalaric. Yeah, and just wasn't quite able to recover that gap that creeped out on those final climbs. Lost the Pasalotti over the line. Henrik Larsson now. 3 kilometers remaining. Motorbike rider taking a detour through the bushes there. Larson 160 watts here coming into the finishing section onto the tarmac. Marchi congratulating Fagara on a great ride and also passing on his thanks to the organisers. The race organised by PRT Precision Race Team, and in particular Will Usher. And these Thursday night handicap races happen every Thursday at 7 PM and they're usually available directly from the app in RGT. But if you check out Facebook groups or the rgtdb.com website, you can normally see the links to sign up there. Then of course the streams are on VCN each week. If you want to have a look at the racing, you can go back. We've got big catalogue of races past on the VCN channel, and on the YouTube channel we've got some reviews and some information on the Wahoo RGT app. Well, that probably needs updating a little bit now because we have moved on a little bit since we last did a video on it. Henrik Larsson now 1.9 kilometers to go. We'll watch Henrik Larsson come in, we'll check in with Furbear, and we will call it quits for the night. Hope you've enjoyed watching the stream. As I say, if you want to head over to precisionrewards.co.uk, that's precision-rewards.co.uk, to check out the discounts that are available there on lots of the equipment that you use in your sporting life. Cube have discounts available through there as well. Let's say you can even get discounts for hotels and car rental through there. That's all for one of my favourite words, free. And Henrik Larsson coming underneath the Flamme Rouge, 1 kilometre marker, signifies the pains coming towards an end. And again, enjoying looking at that Canyon bike. It's quite an attractive colour scheme to me. The bright pink with the contrasting black, opposite sides of the bike. But I can't quite remember seeing that bike before. It's perhaps not the most popular used bike, or it's new to the platform. If anyone out there knows, if you can send a message through. We are on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. That's the other one. Larson now within the last 250 meters. Coming up on the finish line. Pass through the little shop town, Dunoon. And under the finish line in a time of an hour, 8 minutes and 16 seconds. Check back in with, oh, missed Beerun, my bad. Beerun's still out on the circuit. It's got 2.38 kilometers remaining. I say Beerun regular on the PRT handicap race. Not many weeks where you don't see Beerun taking part. And there's Furbear. Coming past the VCN Cambot. VCN Cambot, very slow rider. Very overweight, do more camera work than they do riding. Furbear there. Cracking on at 160 watts. 7 kilometers remaining. We're just going to check back in with Beerun and then we are going to say goodnight. Beerun now onto the tarmac, into the finishing section. Coming up underneath the Flamme Rouge. And with only 1.2 kilometers remaining to the finish line. Beerun looking like going to finish in about an hour and 15 minutes. We're going to call it quits for tonight. Thank you everybody for joining us on the stream. Please do check in next week for the PRT handicap race. And we hope you all have a fantastic night and a great weekend.